This is Andrew with Linden Street Brewery, and you're watching Beer Brewed here.
Hi, I'm Frankie.
And I'm Nick.
We've been friends for about 6 years.
And we've learned a lot about each other.
What happened to fun, Frankie? The other friend we haven't learned enough about is our good pal, beer. So we decided to make a show where we go to local Bay Area breweries, learn how this tasty beverage is made.
Every time I hear more about your guys' relationship, I'm shocked you're still alive.
This is Beer Brewed here.
This show is not meant for experts.
I'll be 0 for 12 by the time we're done. Now we're on the way to Linden Street.
Yep.
Kaina is our driver. Hello, Kaina.
Hi.
Hey, Kaina.
She's in our improv troupe with us. She's not drinking, so she's a great driver.
She had a crazy night last night.
Right.
So
I peed in the bed.
She did
pee in the bed. Yeah.
You peed in the bed tonight?
No, I didn't pee again.
Oh, yesterday you peed in the bed.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So we're on our way to Linden Street, which is our first brewery. It's run by my friend Andrew Ritter, who is my old rugby captain. He tricked me into joining the rugby team.
What do you mean? How did he trick you in?
I went to a party with him and his rugby teammates. They got really hammered, and I swore an oath to join the rugby team. I could have very well not shown up, but I went the next day to Amazon, bought rugby gear, showed up to the next practice.
Do you think that your experience in rugby helped you becoming a bigger appreciator of beer?
I didn't really drink till I was 21. Yeah. So I had my college years in grad school.
There's this wonderful thing about the Bay Area when it comes to brewing. There's tons of breweries and tons of great beer being made all around. And they make a beer specifically for bar tartine.
Well, they used the bar tartine starter to make it.
Yeah, but they didn't actually, it doesn't get sold at bar tartine?
I'm not sure.
Oh, we'll find out when we get there, I'm sure.
A lot of question marks.
Yeah, we have brewed for ourselves a couple times and it wasn't successful, but...
I mean, technically, we produced beer at the end.
That's true, we did produce beer.
It wasn't good.
It was not good at all.
And we lost a lot of bottles.
Oh yeah.
And it was bad.
It's weird to say this, but I feel like there's this kind of romance around brewing.
Romance?
Yeah, it's very romantic to see everything put together, made in a specific way. There's a ritual to it, and I think that there can be a ritual to beer, and I think that can be romantic. I always find myself finding more out about myself as I drink more.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's really soul searching. Well, that's what I like to call it when I drink.
Hey guys, welcome.
Good to see you.
Welcome to Linden Street.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Ritter.
Perfect staged greeting.
You guys want to try some beer?
Yes, more than anything. Let's do this.
So welcome to our tasting room. So we usually have 8 beers on tap. We have 5 that we make year round, so we always have those 5 on, and then we have 3 kind of seasonals, kind of specialty beers, kind of one-offs that we do.
How often a year do you switch up the seasonals? Once every...
Yeah, there's some that we make on a constant, every winter we'll make our Emperor Norton Imperial Stout, and then we'll also, every year we'll make usually a Berliner Weiss around this time of year in the summer, end of spring, early summer. It only takes a few weeks for beer to ferment, so once that's done, we're already thinking about the new style, the new one that we want to make. Okay, so we're going to be starting kind of on this end, and we're going to start moving that direction. So first one, if you guys want to grab one of these 3 right here. So if you give it a smell, it's our new Oakland Glow. It's a Bohemian-style Pilsner. So 4.2%, about 32 IBUs. So it has that malty side to it.
When tasting and drinking a beer, smell matters, the bouquet, I'm trying to explain to me how are you supposed to taste beer?
Give it a smell first. I mean, that's definitely, you're gonna get some aroma from it. So it's gonna be the hops, the aroma from the hops. You're gonna be smelling the malt, and you're also gonna be smelling the yeast. And when you taste it, you'll start tasting the malty side, you'll start tasting the bitterness from the hops, you'll start tasting the different flavors from the yeast, any kind of things that developed inside it while it was fermenting. For example, with the fermentation process, you can get esters, you can get kind of banana flavors from it. If it goes wrong, you get nail polish kind of flavors from it.
Wait, okay, what is the flavor that you taste that's this just went wrong?
Anything that makes you go like that.
So if you like this,
you go like that,
okay.
All right, we finished our beer.
Cool, so we're on the next row. So this next row, this is gonna be our steam style beer.
So like Anchor Steam?
Yeah, kind of like Anchor Steam. So this one's 5.5%, 39 IBUs. In Germany, they have cold temperatures. They have they actually get snow out there, right? So coming to the Bay Area was a bit of a shock to them, where there isn't snow, there isn't cold temperatures. So German immigrants had to invent a lager yeast that fermented at ale fermentation temperatures, which tends to be around 60 to 65 degrees. So they harvest yeast that is basically from the Bay Area, and they made that being their lager yeast that they use. So a steam style beer is what it originally was called. Now it's called California Common. Anchor trademarked the term steam.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice of them.
Yeah. So I always like, I'll tell you what, craft beer would not be where it is today if
Without
Anchor
Anchor
did
Steam.
not. Yeah, if
That's right.
Anchor didn't.
Thanks, Anchor Steam.
Thank you.
Okay, next one.
Yeah, so the next one, so this next row right here, so that's going to be our black lager. Part of the tasting rate is going to be looking at it, so take a look at the color. So it's going to be dark in color.
Yeah.
You know, it looks something like it's going to be heavy. I mean, usually when people see dark colors with the beer, they kind of think Guinness. You know, they think it's something to be like a heavy stout. It's really thick.
Is that dumb to think?
See, I like black lager. I love this stuff, and it smells to me like coffee and a little bit of caramel.
Yeah.
This is, and it's got that bitter, like really high, like cocoa, tastes bitter at the end.
It's wrong to look at a beer and just assume
Wrong.
assume that it's going to be heavy. It really depends on a lot of other factors. It's not just the color of the beer. The cool thing is the first 3 beers that we've had, the New Oakland Glow, the Common Lager, and the Black Lager, all use the same yeast. So the only thing different is going to be the type of malts that are used in it and the amount of hops, because they actually use the same hops as well, just different
So these are all
of it.
wow from like basically most of the same ingredients, but you change just a little bit to make. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So which one is
Yeah,
that?
so this next one, so this one's going to be the Old Brick Bitter. It's the English ESB. So this one's going to be 4.5%, and this one's 19 IBU. So it's the same bitterness as the Black Lager.
What's the name from? The building?
The building, exactly.
And ESB is English style bitter. Is that what
Extra
it is?
special
Extra
bitter.
special.
What makes it extra special?
It was a style that was made a long time ago. So what they would do is, hence, right, it has the name bitter in it, but it's actually not very bitter. It's more on the malty, sweeter side.
It's more like the Oakland Glow.
Yeah, it has kind of a bread taste to it almost, kind of bready.
Yeah, is that from the yeast?
That's gonna be from the malts. You are 0 for 3.
This show is not meant for experts.
I'll be 0 for 12 by the time we're done.
Yeah.
So this is the brewery. So this is where all the beer is made.
Where the magic happens.
Yeah. So the way it all starts is we have the bags of barley that we have out front. So all those go up into our mill. So it goes past the American flag and then goes down.
How much does the freedom affect the taste?
There's a lot of things that go into making beer, right? Freedom's one of them.
Great.
But then also music is another one. So for us, it's like, you talk to your plants sometimes, or crazy people talk to their plants, they say it makes it better, right? So
Yeah.
we're crazy in that we play music for our yeast at night. So
That's super. No, that's super cool. Do you feel like with your yeast batches, right? Like, do you feel like you're connected to them because they are living creatures?
Yeah, I mean, so for our lager yeast that we've been using the same lager yeast for 6 years now. So since we opened.
Does it have a name?
Just our house yeast, the Linden house yeast.
Have you ever thought of giving it like a name like
Pete?
Tyrell.
Greg?
Tyrell?
Tyrell? Is that what you call it?
Probably.
Have you tried have tested like the effects of different music on like does it have an impact?
So
Heavy metal.
It's probably more of like a psychosomatic kind of thing. Like if we really need a batch to finish, we'll start playing some like Metallica at night for it or something like that. Like let's get things speeding.
speed metal.
Yeah, exactly.
So, California's in a drought. What do you do with all this water?
The really cool thing about us is that we have that in mind. Even before there was a drought, I mean, we very much try to use as little water as we can. Some even so efficient where it's like 2 to 1. For us, we do 4 to 1. So we're actually very, very efficient with our water.
I like that. Yep. Efficient water. You're using the grain. It's all good stuff.
Yeah.
Some good hippie shit.
Why are these kegs in here? And I see like a really standard like normal like airlock over there. Are these like just like experimental brews? What are these?
So the airlock is an experimental one. So that one's going to be a beer that we're kind of messing around with, seeing if it goes well.
I love it. It's experimentation. It's romance. This is it. This is what I wanted.
You and your romance.
I'm so like I legitimately believe that brewing is kind of like this. It's a romantic endeavor. You're not getting anything extra out of it. You could hypothetically have made your 16 beers or however much and just rotate it and be done. But you're trying new things.
Now, what is the experiment? Can you tell us what?
Can you tell us, or is that super
What do
secret?
you do?
Ooh. Do you have any experience with like making a beer that has to be aged, or does that matter and they're just
what
doing
is
it as
that?
a gimmick?
Yeah, I mean, sour beers you want to age, right? So we have a beer called Bière de Tartine. It's the one that we make for bar tartine. That one has to sit and age for a while. That one you have to let the lactobacillus really kick in, and so we let it sit for about like 8 months or so before it's ready to go out. And the funny thing is actually even past that 8 months, it gets sour. And so when you have the beer one day, if you have it 3 months later, it's gonna be a different beer because it's gonna become more sour.
Once it's in the bottle, though, is that still? Can you still have the process be that active than aging it in the
Oh,
bottle?
absolutely. I mean, for example, those bottles you had that blew up.
Blew up?
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, it's the same thing. It just keeps aging.
Hey,
keeps
there was
changing.
a violent revolution.
It was. It smelled horrible.
I wouldn't say like there were 5 beers that turned out awesome.
Right, like it was like a few bottles were delicious. The rest were just a mess.
Yeah. Anyway, like, we had like things like I think it was lactobacillus
could
like
not
got
tell
in
you
there.
what
It
exactly
was
what the
super
problem
sour.
5 bottles out of 50 is not a very good success rate.
That's what we said. We were very upfront. We failed horribly.
Yes, it will fail.
Yeah. I see here that there is a penguin robot protecting the place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Penguin Robot in Love. He's the protector of this brewery. One of the people who works here, their kid made that in school, and as soon as I saw it, I always said it had to be our flag. Every keg that leaves passes beneath the Penguin Robot in
First
Love.
the flag, then the robot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Freedom,
Okay.
whimsy. Sounds
A lot
like
of
a great.
symbolic phases.
A lot of blessing happens
Yeah.
in here.
Is that the end of the tour?
Yeah, it's cool.
Great.
Get the fuck out. So yeah, so this is sort of the backside of the brewery. I mean, it just kind of shows you where we're located, right? I mean, we're in the port of Oakland. I mean, you can see the cranes out in the distance.
Being next to train tracks, this is like oddly peaceful.
There's something like zen about watching a train pass, you know, and like the constant sound that just continues over and over. And it's super cool. It's very fun being in this area and this building, and you know, in Oakland just in general. I mean, I was raised in Oakland, and it's just it's great being able to get back to the community and kind of like, you know, bring Oakland to being a better place. I mean, I think that's sort of the idea behind the new Oakland Glow. You know, it's creating a different atmosphere for Oakland. Oakland's very community oriented. You're very proud to be from Oakland if you're from Oakland, or if you live in Oakland, you're very proud to live in Oakland. And I feel like it's different than San Francisco, just because San Francisco has so many people going in and out all the time that, you know, and plus, I mean, how many people do you know that are actually from San Francisco that live in San Francisco?
Very few.
Yeah, so Oakland's more of a local kind of proud to be from spot where people stick around for a long time.
Well, I think now we have
We had a game we wanted to
a
try.
couple games we'd like to play
Alright.
with you, if that's be possible.
Yeah.
So names of beers have kind of gotten out of control.
Kind of. They're completely out of control.
Completely out of control. It's harder to find fake names than
Yeah.
it is to find actual names. So your job as a brewer is
Right.
to find out what names of
Use your
beers.
professional education. Just figure out, is this a real beer or a fake beer?
All right, let's do this.
So for example, the first one we have is Genghis Pecan. It's a pecan pie porter. Is that a real beer or is it a fake beer?
I could see that being pretty good. I mean, I think that pecan probably goes pretty well with porters, that dark kind of style. I mean, for example, it was like the Imperial Stout that we had earlier kind of did well with coconut. I could see that being.
So you think real beer?
Yeah.
You're right. It's a real beer.
It is a real beer.
Okay. All right. The Hunt for Red Hoptober.
I'm gonna say that's a real beer.
Yes, it's
It is also a real beer. Oh my goodness. All right.
All right. Old Leg Humper.
No,
That's real.
that's real.
Real beer.
And
Absolutely.
it's a robust porter. The catchphrase is so many legs, so little time.
Bummer. Got it.
Pearl Necklace, an oyster stout.
I'm gonna say fake. Real.
Completely real.
Completely real.
Completely
Yep,
real.
Absolutely.
Pearl Necklace. Okay. Last one. Hop, Scotch, and 2 smoky barrels. Whiskey barrel aged.
I'm gonna say not real.
Dang it.
Well done.
Well done, Ritter.
What's the next steps for Linden Street? You got some new tanks in there. You got some new equipment. Where is it all headed?
I think at this point we've been hyper focused on local. You know, I mean, keeping it local, and that's a good thing. I mean, we tried and we basically tried to supply as many places in the very small vicinity that we're in. Everything's within 3 or 4 towns over. I mean, we don't get further than that. We've been nothing but local, so we're gonna try and see like what we can do with our beer outside of the super local. College towns are a good spot to test the market. Kind of see how it does.
Bottles?
Yeah, we're gonna try and start canning sometime soon.
What is like the positive side to canning? Why cans versus bottles? Bottles versus
Cans are better for beer. With cans, you have you don't have light struck beer. You start to get a skunky flavor by beers that have been touched by light. But yeah, overall, it's just better for the beer. And I want to shotgun some New Oakland Glow. I mean, I think that would be great.
Well, dude, it's been good.
Oh, right on. Well, thanks
much,
for taking the time,
yeah,
guys.
Well, thanks for having us out here.
Thank you so much.
Happy to have you guys.
Yeah.
We'll be back, for sure.
this delicious sour.
Very nice. What did you take away from this?
I think a lot of business dictates the kinds of malts and like what individual breweries will have. But like even within that, like there's so much variation on a single malt.
Yeah,
Or
it
just
seems
think
like
they work with so much.
The most cost-efficient part is not the most impactful part of the end product. Like,
Yeah, you can do a lot
be
with.
cost-efficient and still have a lot of artistry,
Totally.
and you can get a lot out of it, which is cool.
I also like the affirmation that I initially thought, which was that there's this romantic
Oh, the
idea.
romance.
The romance. Like, okay, I'm serious about it. It's like he was saying like he's doing it out of a labor of love.
Yes,
That's why he's
yes.
doing it. He's not doing it because he's gonna make the big bucks.
Well, no, I mean, we went over that. Yeah, of course, let's make the big bucks, but just
Anything true about romance is void of money.
That's true.
is it?
It doesn't have to, it's not mutually exclusive. You can have it with money.
I would love to find that.
I think it's because you're looking for it is the problem.